Today, I'm joined by Mr. James Maxwell. He's the Vice President of Exploration for First Mining Gold. James, welcome to Ron's Basement.
Well, and thank you. My first episode of Ron's Basement, and very fitting that we're here in Canada. Welcome to Canada, Ron, and thanks for taking the opportunity to come join us here in Quebec.
Yes, I've had a great trip. We're visiting the Duparquet Gold Project that belongs to First Mining Gold. James runs the exploration programs for First Mining Gold, and I learned something very interesting during my trip here, and that is that the exploration guys are the magic makers, the ones that are out there pushing the envelope, doing sometimes creative work, reading the ground and trying to determine where the next big gold find might be. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting part of the business, but also it's really the foundation. It's the platform. I mean, it's a treasure hunt overall. But this is the foundation for a project, is having, that base geoscience, whether it's data, whether it's the resource. It's really the attributes that make a project tangibly worth something. Mm-hmm. And, the better confidence, the better job we do on the exploration front, makes that path towards a successful mining environment or gold resource. I mean, it's a pretty key component for us.
Yeah. You really start the ball rolling. I mean, the exploration team for any gold mine that exists, somebody had to explore it. Is that?
Yeah, no, tremendously true. Certainly it takes a number of cycles. It takes a number of, persistence and opportunity to really reach home on it. And we're very fortunate to have the asset we have here in Quebec at the Duparquet project, certainly underpinned by a large critical mass in a resource. But, we've done a lot of work in growing our exploration opportunity and consolidating lands across a portion of the Abitibi. We now have almost 6,000 hectares in an exploration position. And this is all surrounding, a newly updated resource that we've put together over the last year. And the benchmark for our PA that actually was just announced over the last couple of weeks.
Right. And there's already a 5 million ounce resource at the Duparquet project alone. Is that correct?
So we have a global resource right now, and it comes in several categories. But if you sum those totals, I mean, you certainly are getting higher than that number. Mm-hmm. We've added in some of the satellite resources to Duparquet in this current technical report that we're publishing. And that includes the Pit Gold project, the Duquesne project, that are now combined into a consolidated global resource for what is the greater Duparquet project.
Okay. But the company as a whole, I know there's obviously Duparquet, Springpole, which is another 5 million roughly ounces of gold.
Yeah, so two really sizable projects. And I mean, that's fairly hard to find in any marketplace or, with even some of the major companies out there. To have two assets of that quality and that size is something that, we're proud of having at First Mining, and something that makes us a bit unique in the market. I think we're all a little bit underappreciated right now, and certainly undervalued, but that's the leverage. Right. That's the true leverage. I think everybody's got deep value per se. I think a lot of people are undervalued. But if you look at, the ounce total within our project class, and certainly the scale and exploration, optionality on the back end of these in two different districts, it certainly provides something that is a multiplier effect in terms of your leverage or exposure to gold price, and also to milestones and how we advance our projects.
Yeah. I mean, the gold is already there. I like to say, it's like it's in a vault. It's just in the ground, but you're also exploring to potentially find even more. And any comments on that as you look out at these two regions, the Abitibi here and the area around Springpole? It just seems like there's a lot of ground for you to choose.
Yeah,
from.
so in the Red Lake District in the Superior Province, certainly in the Ontario side, I mean, we have a tremendous asset in Springpole. We've done a tremendous amount of work in bolstering it with a district exploration play that surrounds, underpins that critical mass that is Springpole. And we're really just templating a lot of that similarly to Duparquet. We've started the consolidation, and we just build base layer normalized data sets, and that includes the geoscience of lithology, structure, geochemistry, and geophysics. And then once we've got those data sets layered, I mean, it's really where we apply, our knowledge of the deposits themselves, our knowledge of the mineral systems approach and paragenesis of how these deposits form. And because we actually own large-scale critical masses, it's actually easier to template and look for analogous settings, analogous deposits. So, we can learn from what we own and then look to repeat that with exploration success. And then based on just the scale of what we're doing, I mean, the threshold for success is much lower. We don't need to necessarily find standalone. I mean, we're not saying we're not looking for standalone deposits, but, it's only incremental at this point where we don't need to find another 3-4 million ounces to reach an economic hurdle. I mean, supplemental, especially, things that could add to the front end of the value chain of these projects is really what we're after. So higher grade, better metallurgy, certainly ores that can blend in. I mean, that's kind of what our exploration path is seeking out, is how do we make our projects, that are great today, even better.
Right. More strategic exploration that where the money that's being spent is having a real incremental benefit to what currently is in existence.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, for us, it really is underpinned by a great endowment. I mean, these projects are already demonstrated, so the risk threshold is much less. We already know that there is giant deposits in these areas, in these projects. So the opportunity to find more is simply, we only have to look at these jurisdictions we operate in. Some of these mining camps have been going on for 100 years plus. I mean, Red Lake has been active for a very long time. The Abitibi here in Quebec has been active for a very long time. And, one of the things about these mature, great mining districts is that they continue to give. They continue to yield more discoveries. They continue to yield new discoveries, new types of discoveries. And you see this across these great jurisdictions. So when you can work and hold commanding land positions in these jurisdictions, it's quite fortunate to work for a company like First Mining.
Excellent. Well, did I forget to ask you anything? You've done an excellent job of giving us a good feel for not just First Mining, but also I think what exploration entails. Did I forget to?
I think the biggest thing is just understanding that this is, it really is a team effort. And, here at First Mining, we've got not only a great geoscience team. I mean, we have some of the top geoscientists, in my opinion, that we've assembled with different supporting strengths in their backgrounds, from geochemistry to modeling to resource to execution level. In these jurisdictions, but ultimately the support individuals behind it as well. We've got great people on the finance, the operations, our community environment teams, really work strongly in the regions that we operate, and we're quite respectful of that. So, I mean, that's the one thing that I think when you look at drill results a lot of times, you got to remember that there's a lot of components that make that happen. Right. Service partners, support systems, and, we're proud to be part of those communities, those organizations, and the network that supports our industry and sector here in Canada.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that James brings that up because I just finished interviewing Dan Wilton, the CEO of the company, and I mentioned to him, as I've been up here for the last 2 days, visiting and meeting a lot of these people, the team, I'm so impressed with the team of people, just the attitude and the professionalism and the quality. And I'll be honest, I don't know the first thing about drill holes, but I can sense that there is a very high quality team of people that are in place from all the levels, like you said, just kind of observing and getting a good feel for the people that are behind this project. It's as an investor, I feel really good that there's a great team of people that are together.
Well, thank you for that. Certainly appreciate it. And, it's great to have not only great teams to work with, but great shareholders as well, Ron. So thanks for being a great supporter. We think about our shareholders in everything we do. Yeah. And, we do represent them with high esteem in terms of how we put our project path together.
I have one final question for you specific to this Duparquet, because we've been here now all day today. And Dan had said there were 270 meters of historic drilling on that.
So 270,000 meters. And so we've done about 6,000 meters ourselves now. So 276,000 meters, which is 276 kilometers. The mile equivalent, will be somewhere in the 200-mile threshold. So if you want to string that out, I mean, I don't know where it gets you from St. Louis, but it gets you quite a ways.
Doesn't get me all the way here. But my question is, that is a massive amount of drilling, is it not? I mean, do you feel like you're almost, I'd say blessed, but fortunate to have, I mean, everywhere I looked as we were driving, not everywhere, but there were, not core shacks, but core
Racks,
right? If you
yeah.
correct core racks and core shacks, there's a difference, but core racks everywhere. So you have a lot of data, existing data that you can draw upon as well. That's the first part of my question. The second part would be, how much money would it cost to do that? If you had to start over from scratch and I said, James, I want you to drill 270 meters at this Dupar Cave. I mean, any rough ballpark estimates of what?
Yeah, no, the sunk capital cost is tremendous, and it's quite well taken care of and managed here. We've got a great inventory, we've got a great library system and indexing of the historic cores, and so that really leverages the confidence. Also, it's not just that we have the ounces in a resource nature. We've got the confidence level and the ability to return to the supporting underpinnings of that resource, and you don't always have that luxury. So we're fortunate to have that. We certainly don't take it for granted, and we do return to it at times. A lot of times, especially when we're exploring and we're looking for zones of similarity or even zones of contrast and vectoring, we can go back to that, indexed work and look and review the zones, look and review the assay grades, and then understand and learn from that and take away and feed it into even our direct exploration model. So certainly can't underestimate the value of having the access to it and having it, the retention that we do. But for replacement value, I would suggest 270,000 meters of drill core in a modern realm. It's probably going to cost you somewhere between $60 to $80 million here on one project, based on today's valuations.
Yeah, just to do the drilling, which is not too far shy of the total market cap of the company. So I want to emphasize again that the deep value opportunity, and that's just, we're talking drilling at Dupar Cave. There's Springpole, there's Cameron, all these other projects as well. So, well, thank you for your time. This has been great, and and on behalf of all of our viewers, thank you. And it's been great seeing this project, and it'll be exciting to watch and see what happens with the company in the coming quarters and years.
Well, thanks for having me, Ron, and hopefully one day I can make it to Ron's basement.
Thanks. See you soon.